Could we have a quick description of your characters, please? Maybe starting with Grom.
Yeah, he's a full-blooded orc. He's 6.5 feet tall. He's fairly well built. Shaggy hair, painted face, swinging his hatchets.
Mr. Jason Havernock, he's got quite an interesting backstory, hasn't he?
Yes, as you may recall, Jason Havernock was from planet Earth as a human being, an American investigative agent, detective, if you will, of the Boston Police Department. Of course, over time, just to cut to the chase, he encountered Cthulhu in Easter Island, got swallowed up, got mutated into a warlock of Cthulhu. Now he has like pale, slimy green, glistening skin, brown. He's got brown hair, or had brown hair, was clean shaven. Now he's just kind of what he looks like underneath the mask and clothing he wears now. It's hard to say. His devotion to Cthulhu has warped him.
Rex.
Rex Grimm is a half-elf rogue, about 5'10", in his early 30s.
Velden Tyrannos.
Velden is a feral-looking wood elf who wears a full-face deer-antlered helm. His elven ears poke through and his red hair tumbles out from underneath. Breastplate armour, also green, traced with images of ivy, and a wooden shield carved like oak leaves. When you can see his eyes, they're blue and they blink slowly. He's got a natural grace in his slim body. Has a large bird skull necklace with a sprig of mistletoe, and is a paladin of nature.
Zavril Levine.
Yeah, Zavril is a female half-orc. She's almost 6 foot. She suffers from some awful visions of some coming disaster, and she's just made it her mission to do something about it.
A quick recap from last week's game. The party crossed the last of the low hillocks, and you saw before you spread a wide, muddy flow of the river, the longest in this part of the world. The normally rich banks are crowded with a city of dirty tents and hastily built shelters, as if an entire city had decided to go adventuring. A small collection of muddy colours dot the far shore. Between the shores is a steady line of rafts and small craft, hauling people from the far side to the near. The tents are refugees from Amphail and from the more remote towns like Thornhold that have been plagued by giant raids. The people have fled with all they could easily carry, though some of that has been taken by the ferryman as the cost of transport to Waterdeep and safety. As vassal states of Waterdeep, those who are able to flee are doing so. Those from the areas bordering the mountains tell of raids by huge giants, Hill, Frost and others, wielding great powers in an alliance with evil troops. Those from Amphail tell a different story. The Lord's citadel has fallen under an evil curse and blackness that threatens to eat the world. As you approach Amphail, you feel like you are walking into an approaching storm. An electric tingle causes the hairs to rise at the back of your necks, and the very air tastes sharp and acrid. You see what has happened to Amphail from several miles away. Where the towers of the Lord's citadel should rise, there is instead a large ebony sphere, as if God had taken the town and left in its place a huge black pearl. As you approach, you see that the hemisphere cuts through the city around the citadel like a knife, and buildings are literally cut in two by the perimeter of the black bubble. About half a mile from the city, you encounter a Waterdeep patrol. The leader of this group says that the area is under the king's protection and no looters or trespassers are permitted without the express consent of the Lord's agent. Further, any adventurers seeking to aid in repelling the evil that is befalling the area should report to the Lord's agent. The Lord's agent is called Lashton. You are ushered into Lashton's chambers, which are filled with ornate pieces of art and other objects rescued from the city. Lashton is there with Arandos and Algathas the sage, and is bellowing something about an error in one of the seer's books. Lashton has appropriated the seer's house as a base, but is spending a good deal of his time going through his host's library, hoping to increase his own magical power with any arcane lore found within. He tells you that if you are interested in aiding the cause, you will have to follow orders and recognize the authority given by him and by the seal of the Lords of Waterdeep and a ring he wears on his left hand, and if necessary to obey the leaders of several patrols of Waterdeep troops that are based on the manor grounds. Lashton then orders Algathras to summarize the situation for the newcomers. The town of Amphail has always had to deal with the dangers of the non-human population of the Sword Mountains which make up part of our coast. These mountains are the home of a large number of hostile races, including the various breeds of giant kind. These giants have been conducting small raids against our western farms and towns for years, and a sizable portion of our militia has been devoted to protecting that portion of the realm. Recently, however, the number and size of these raids has increased dramatically, and worse yet, they appear to be more coordinated than is normal for such dull brutes. It has been confirmed that several giant leaders have emerged, and these leaders are rallying their people in a genocidal war against humankind. In normal times, the nation would be hard-pressed, and aid was requested from Waterdeep. But to make matters worse, a fearsome spell has befallen the town of Amphale, cutting off all normal leadership. This foul magic first appeared a fortnight ago. Some say that a powerful demon appeared in the courtyard of the tower. Some say that a gift from another country was instead a deadly trap. Some even say that it is the result of meddling in arcane matters. In any event, by the next morning, the entire citadel was covered by this black hemisphere. One of two things happened to those who approached the sphere. If they are strangers to the land, the sphere appears hard and solid as rock. If they are native-born, however, they can walk right through into the sphere itself. Those who entered, however, have never been seen again. The bubble is resistant to all magic and weapons, and nothing we have tried so far has had any effect. Up close, the sphere looks like a ball of black twine or webbing, with layers inside layers inside layers. The bubble will only admit those who are native to the area, and has swallowed a goodly number of people in their sleep originally, as well as later investigators. The most recent was a local cleric named Trose, who investigated without Lashton's permission. Lashton has issued direct orders that no one touch the bubble until further notice. Finally, the bubble is growing, slowly, almost imperceptibly, but definitely expanding. This latest bit of foul enchantment has put the population in full flight, and all help is needed to maintain order. Amphale then has two problems, invaders within and its missing citadel. There is glory in defeating the magical power that holds the ruler and his court, so this is Lashton's stated purpose. You and your group are to be assigned another task, that of finding and destroying the headquarters of the giants, and dealing with whomever is responsible for gathering their forces together. Randos has some ideas. The giant headquarters is probably located in the mountains to the west, since that is where many of the attacks originate. The exact location is unknown as yet. Randos points out that whoever defeats the giants will receive the treasure they have taken as reward, and Lashton reluctantly agrees. Lashton announces that you may now set out without delay. You cannot decline, as you know too much. If you refuse to help, you will be imprisoned for the good of the realm. You're all in Amphale currently. You're tasked with going and killing the giants. So there's two missions here. Deal with this black dome, and there's the giant raids, which are happening simultaneously. Because there's glory and fame in solving the dome, this is what Lashton's going to do. He sent you off on the dirty job, which is going out the hills. He doesn't know where this mountain giant base is. It's up to you to go and find it. There's three different directions you can head in.
Are we? I'm guessing. When I was just checking. I've got 6 potions of healing. Oh, we're loaded as well.
We've got a loot of illusions and an ebony walking stick.
Well, the Loot of Illusions was mine, but there's absolutely no point in me playing it because I can't use it.
Does that do that?
You can use it. It's not Bard only.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be my thing creating the illusions, but if somebody else fancies a fan of it, go for it.
I
Yeah,
can't
we can
remember
just
whether
sell
I
them.
actually have a skill for.
You're not
feel
going to use
this
it to
character,
trick.
I can actually play an instrument.
Well, you might as well take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I mean, the ebony walking stick with a captain inlaid with silver with a large faceted quartz crystal on top just feels Havanok all day long.
Yeah,
Not that
it
I'm hinting,
does.
but it does.
Even if it's of no use, just for the general,
It just feels a thing.
just for the vibes.
Inlaid with silver with a large faceted quartz crystal set on top.
I've got the revolver. That wand that was one. I had a police revolver that got turned into a gun-shaped wand, if I recall correctly.
When you started getting your memories back, you started whittling a piece of wood into the shape of a revolver, didn't you?
Yes.
Did we sort out transport? I've got a steed, but is everybody else in a wagon or horses?
I
Might
got
be
my
easier.
carriage. That should be able to carry us.
Horse you have.
I got my carriage. I got
And
my
horses.
6 horses, 2 donkeys.
Did we ever rescue the dragonettes?
That was up to
Oh.
flashing. We had 3 dragonettes,
We had a
2 of
skeleton
the
horse
shovel
at one
heads,
point.
and then 1 cat one.
Yeah, we did.
The skeleton horse, my 2 wargs.
I originally had the ability to animate the dead, some of you may recall.
Yes.
But I had to talk with
Too many
Flashing.
stuff.
So I've replaced the Cthulhu Raise the Dead, Animate the Dead thing with Eyes of the Runekeeper, which will
Think one
allow
of
me
the
to read any writing.
Okay, well, just one of the things that I wanted to do along with the game, and I think we, way back, it was training the dragonettes to at least give out healing potions, administer healing potions. So that was
Right,
one thing
yeah,
I
we
was
weren't really
working on.
using the dragonets for combat. We were just trying to get them trained for utility.
So I
But the
don't know.
wargs could be helpful in combat. Wargs, yeah,
Where did you
WORGS.
get them from?
We got attacked by a group of them in the woods, and I told everyone to stop killing them, and the only
Yeah.
two that survived, I kept.
Yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily have to have the dragonettes on the combat tracker unless they suddenly start getting attacked, but it would be good to utilise them for administering healing potions.
You're travelling, and it is getting late. You spent the whole day travelling. In the distance, you can see a small coaching inn. Looks like a comfortable place to spend the evening. More inviting than sleeping in the back of Thosey's wagon.
What be wrong with my wagon?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. So you approach the inn.
Yeah, I guess we'll check it out.
Do you silly folk want to spend a night undercover before we hit the wilds?
Why not? I don't know, maybe they'll have some information.
You are looking for the steading of the hill giant chief. And normally adventurers like you would be obvious to the locals that you're important and powerful adventurers. And normally your arrival would be a point of interest. Kids would be running out to greet you. But you notice as you walk into this town, or this little village rather, it's a coaching inn with a few buildings scattered around it. You're greeted with fearful looks and sullen glowers. No one approaches you or talks cheerfully to you like they normally would. You would normally get local people coming and trying to sell you things. Instead, women are protectively hustling their children away. Men are stopping their work and they're staring at you as they pass. You've got no trouble finding the village inn. It's bright and gaudy and it's right at the end. You can see outside, you can see in the shade of an old elm tree, a group of rough-looking men drinking and smoking bowls of tobacco. Several rough-looking types are lounging on the benches scattered around the yard, and coming from inside, you can hear lively, gay sounds. You can hear a woman dancing, dice rolling, and people laughing. There's this village and there are locals scattered around. You're used to getting a little bit more attention than this. And there are several locals in the inn. You can see a serving wench there and several people standing around.
Well, it's always a good time for drinking, so...
Yeah, Jason walks in.
Following too.
As you walk in, Jason, the common room completely goes dead and they all just stare at you. The innkeeper's finished tapping another barrel of ale. After a couple of seconds, you must be adventurers. The place falls back into its noisy habits. You can find a table without any trouble, and you look around and you see a typical collection of villagers. There's a few apparent hard cases at the bar, but things don't seem that unusual, especially considering an honest working day has just ended. Savril, you head
Yeah.
over to the bar?
Yep, I do. I ask. I get a round in for the crew.
There's a serving wench there, and she serves you. Says, oh, so you're adventurers then?
We are indeed.
Ah, if we can help you with anything, just ask. And she
Wow.
hands you over some beers.
I give her a nice tip. And I said, well, you may be of assistance. We are actually looking for somebody.
We're looking for the giant chief.
Yes, we're looking for the giant chief.
Her face goes white. Yeah, the giants have been a big problem round here, and she looks around slightly warily. And as she's saying this, the man at the bar, Drunk Commoner 1, he leans over and he starts laughing and he grabs her. He goes, come here, wench. And she slaps him across the face, says, I've told you, get off. I want nothing to do with you. But he only gets meaner and more demanding. Even though you're standing there, he seems like he's blasted drunk.
I'm going to try and get in between them, but not too aggressively, and just say, excuse me, good sir, I'm currently... the barkeep is helping me with something.
She's trying to say something to you, and all the other customers are making pained efforts not to notice what's happening. She's shaking her head, no, 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 no. But obviously, this is not the way that a gentleman should treat a lady, and no one in the place is doing anything. He grabs her again, and he starts pouring
Can I
himself
roll
a
an
drink.
insight flashing just to see if I can get the social what's going on here?
Can I maneuver? Like, I want to maneuver, like, over here, and I'm going to tap on the guy's shoulder.
Veldon, you try and size him up. Although he's tough looking, you think he's probably pretty gutless. He's probably the type full of bluster.
I tap him on the shoulder.
Turns around.
I lift my mask up, and Memento Mori.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The entire inn falls silent.
He sees a visage of horror, like writhing tentacles, rotting flesh that is contradictory. It is an impossible thing. It's like you've got rotten flesh that's falling off. It's also reconstituting itself and shifting and shaping, and It's impossible. His face should not be.
You transform yourself into a horrifying vision of death, rotted and crawling maggots, exuding the stench of the grave. So he is stunned for a couple of moments, and then he regains himself, and he immediately begins bolting for the door, walking backwards, scrabbling, panicking. He's never seen anything like this before.
I'm not going to stop
Open
him.
it.
No, just let him go.
I'll open it for him.
I'm gonna
in
give him the
feigned
shit eye on the
politeness
way
as
out,
he's
though.
running. I'll open the door in that sort of feigned politeness, as if
Yeah.
I'm being courteous, but in sort of sarcastic way. As he
Good day,
goes and I'll
sir.
sort of nod him. Good day, sir.
Yeah,
And shut it
okay.
behind him.
The place is quiet, and you notice all the locals, they're not even looking up, they're just looking at you the corner of their eyes.
Of course. I make sure to keep my mask back on, so nobody else has a.
You put your mask back on. There's a strained attempt to regain the gaiety and the cheer that was present before you guys walked in, and people go back to their dice games, and you'd ordered a drink, had Avril.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'd ordered a round, and I was trying to get a bit of information. But obviously, if it's painfully obvious that these people, I mean, is the vibe we're getting that they're scared of us, or that they don't, that they don't want us here, or what? Can we read anything from the kind of reception we've been?
The servant when she says those beers are on the house, don't thank you so much for helping me, but he says, I don't think your kindness is going to be repaid by the people. As she pours you a drink.
I'm going to kind of say in a hushed voice, what's happened to this town?
You don't understand, do you? You're not leaving. I appreciate what you've done, but you haven't made any friends here. Look around. And she nods over at the other people. They would just as rather you let that man abuse me. Look at them. They're all terrified.
Terrified of what?
You stood up to Albert. He's one of Big Johann's band. You can bet that he's going to come back.
Oh dear, right.
A man at a nearby table leans over. Indeed, it is so. You meddling strangers. You've more than likely doomed us all. When Big Johann and his men hear what's happened, they'll come for revenge, and they'll take it out on us.
So I assume we've all heard this now, right?
By now you can hear voices of bitterness and discontent throughout the inn. To the minds of the locals, the outcome is certain. Big Johann, whoever he is, and his men are going to return and punish everybody. Collective punishment, and it's all your fault.
So you guys want this guy gone?
I'll take my horned helm off with a flourish, and I'm going to try a persuasion and say, listen, good people, we are adventurers of some small renown, and we are used to dealing with thugs and bullies. Rest easy. Big Johann turns up. We'll make sure he's dealt with in the right way, and that you can get back to your busy lives without fear of reprisal.
Don't realize who you're dealing with. Big Johann, he's dealt with adventurers before. Another voice pipes up. I think we should hand them over.
I'm going to
Oh,
say
feel
in
free
this
to hand us
voice,
over.
sounding like this, Jason says this. No man can gaze upon Cthulhu and yet live.
No, you've doomed us, and it's all your fault. And they're talking about turning you over to Big Johann when he arrives. And as you're having this conversation, and everybody's faces go white. Oh no!
Let's go kick this guy's ass.
Yeah, we
good.
can't go anywhere. We can't just go anywhere without having to liberate people along the way.
I like liberating people.
I mean, I'm not complaining, but we've barely got started on this current quest.
I am gonna rush outside though.
As you exit the inn, distant rumble echoes through the trees, growing louder with each passing moment, and the ground trembles beneath your feet. Suddenly, the undergrowth ahead explodes in a shower of splintered wood and flying foliage. Towering above you is a colossal frost giant, his skin a pale blue, marred with scars of countless battles. His icy beard flows like a frozen waterfall, and his eyes glint with a cold, ruthless intelligence. Clad in thick furs and armor adorned with the bones of his fallen enemies, he grips a massive, frost-rimmed great axe in one hand. Beneath him, his white woolly mammoth, Snowy, charges forward, its tusks glistening with frost and its shaggy white coat shimmering with ice crystals. The beast bulldozes everything in its path, the earth shaking with each thunderous step. Flanking the giant are a band of ogres, their brutish forms lumbering through the forest with surprising speed. Each wields crude but deadly weapons, and their eyes are filled with a savage glee at the destruction they're causing. Beside them, a gladiator strides with a warrior's grace, his muscles rippling under the weight of his gleaming armor. A blood-red plume tops his helm, and in one hand he clutches a finely crafted sword, in the other a shield emblazoned with a heraldic emblem that flashes as he moves. The cacophony of the advancing horde drowns out all other sounds, and the air grows cold as the frost giant and his fearsome retinue draw closer. They make no secret that they intend to smash this inn flat and cut you up and everybody else here into little pieces.
Oh dear.
Big Johann carries a giant-sized axe and saddlebag containing 3 boulders for tossing. As you run out the inn,
Build a fay.
you can see Big Johann with his Mastodon Smoky and 5 or 6 ogres. So unless anybody wants to do anything else, we'll roll initiative, please.
Remember, everybody's got a gift of luck in the form of that Blessing of Cthulhu that I cast. So you will get 3 advantage on 3 different rolls.
Can you put?
You're an elephant trampling through the undergrowth.
Good lord. Yeah, I'm going to mount Toad, and I'm going to cast. Yeah, I don't want to go charging off on my own into a load of ogres. I'll wait for a bit of backup. I'm simply going to cast Divine Favor upon myself, and which also affects Toad. So we are suffused with holy power, ready to meet the attack. And I'm going to just get ready.
Your prayer empowers you with divine radiance.
And that's it for me. I will move. I'm going to get in a better position. I'm going to get to there, and I'm going to move Toad with me.
Zavril, you see Veldin jump on his warhorse and he starts moving forward. You can see 5 ogres moving towards you and a frost giant on a woolly mammoth. Wonderful, so you kind of run up behind Veldin.
Yeah, and also I just want a bonus action, Shield of Faith.
As a bonus action, you cast Shield of Faith. That's your bonus action, and your
I
move.
think that's it, yeah.
And you dash, didn't you?
Yeah.
Rex Grimm, you've targeted Ogre 5. You've got him in your sights.
Okay, I'm going to run out the door, right?
And you got a longbow.
I'm going to fire right down this line. So I run 30, and I'm going to assassinate him, Ogre 5.
Grimm runs out of the inn. He draws his longbow back, and he fires.
Super critical. That's going to be a crit because because of the advantage with the way sneak attack works.
This arrow goes high in the air and it comes straight down on this ogre's head, cripes, heavily wounding it. It's alright, he almost passes out. Blood spurts
Awesome.
everywhere.
And I will hide.
You drop down into the bushes, pull another arrow out and begin knocking it. Next we move to Ogre 2. He has a great club and a javelin. He comes charging through the undergrowth, smashing down bushes and small trees as he goes, hurdling the ruins of that building. He has a javelin. This javelin comes whistling towards you and it's a miss as Veldin either dodges out of the way or it plants into the ground between.
Or can I continuously sort of bat it aside with my shield as I see it coming?
Deflects off your shield and whizzes back over the top of both of you. Ogre 4, it's Veldin again. He must be quite intimidating with those antler horns. The javelin goes high, sailing towards you, Veldin. You try and deflect it with your shield, and again you do. Now it's Smokey's turn. He raises his head and trumpets. He has a trampling charge, just like your warhorse. He goes charging past everybody else, charging through the undergrowth, knocking everything, almost trampling or knocking down the ogres in his path. Ogre 5, he's already taken a bit of damage from Grimm. He's going to dash all the way forwards and try and get into everyone. Gromish, within a couple of seconds, they're almost on you.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to rage.
You begin screaming and fly into a rage.
And then I'm going to pull a javelin out of my bag and chuck it at Ogre 5. Actually, I guess I'll pull 2 because I can throw 2 and I should have 5.
It's Jason Havernock's turn.
Going to move to here. Am I going to be able to see Ogre 5? Perfect.
You can just see Gromish goring him with the javelin.
I cast Toll the Dead.
You see a little trickle of blood come from the ogre's ear. He looks like he's
Crap,
heavily
him.
wounded. Big Johann.
I'm still not scared of him.
He has a multi-attack. He makes 2 great axe attacks. He also has 3 big boulders in a bag around his waist. He runs forward shouting, "How dare you humiliate my men!"
Your man
Sorry.
wouldn't have been humiliated if he had better game. Didn't have to harass women for attention.
He hurls a rock at you. He reaches into his bag and he pulls out one of these huge rocks and he does throw
Don't
it at
get
Zavril
me.
for being cheeky. Maybe
Oh shit, he
disadvantage.
can fucking hurl that rock.
He
Yes.
certainly can.
Do we get a chance to dodge or anything?
Unfortunately, Zavril, this huge, it's not really a rock, it's more like a boulder. It crashes down on top of you. Heavily wounds you.
Dear.
Oh no, Zavril fails a system
I'm
shock
already
check.
down.
She drops down to 0 hit points.
Get that fucking dragonette
she's-
over here with the healing potion.
Conscious.
Hold on.
Zavril, she's taken heavy damage, critical damage. She's lying there unconscious on the floor, her limbs badly twisted around. Big Johann lets out a guttural laugh. Ho 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 ho, Zavril drops to the ground. The dragonettes. Somebody wants to use the Sedge dragonette? The one with the reeking breath?
I mean, I just wanted to train them so when somebody was down, they'd administer a healing potion. Right. If possible, I'd like the Dragonette to try and stabilise me.
Well, you are stable.
Well, like, give me a healing potion.
The Dragonette can certainly move over towards you, so it could dash 40 towards you and probably give it to you next turn.
Nah.
Taupe, Velden's warhorse with Velden on it.
Right. Taupe's going to charge. So Taupe is going to try and trample that ogre. So let's.
You charge at him, so the horse basically runs him over and starts trampling him. It looks as if he's dead. He stops moving.
So from the top of the horse, which I'm on, I'm going to strike at ogre number 1.
You swing at ogre number 1. Okay, so
Yeah.
you swing at the ogre while your horse is trampling his
His
comrade.
mate.
You can hear Velden saying something to the ogre as there's a huge strike on him with his sword.
And then I've got a second attack because I am a paladin.
You swing the blade in your hand and come back with a second attack. And you
Sure.
drive it down into the ogre, heavily wounding him. Next, we move to Zavril. You're lying on the ground unconscious. Just so you know.
Sorry, Zavril, I could have healed you, but I've got to deal with some of these monsters.
No,
before
no,
I
it's
come back to
very.
you.
Honestly, it's all cool.
I got her.
Grim, it's your turn. You can see Zavril turning paler than normal.
Moving 30, I'm going to fire over her into Ogre 1.
And Rex, you fire over Zavril and the warg straight into Ogre 1. It's a hit. He lets out a roar of pain. It flies out the bushes. He doesn't see it coming. He reels around and hits the deck.
And for a bonus action, I'm going to pour a healing potion down Zavril's throat.
You pop the cork off a healing potion with your thumb and pour it into Zavril.
And I'll just use one of mine.
Zavril, your eyes flick open. You're gasping for air as a Grim heals you for 4 points. No, it's better
Oh,
than
6
that.
points, isn't it?
6.
Whew.
Gasping for air, critically wounded. You can hear
Surrounded by a Dragonette, a rogue, a bloody
wargs
warg.
barking. Rex, anything else? You're pretty much done, yeah?
I think that's it.
Ogre
Thanks,
2
Rex.
charges, furious that his comrades have been killed.
I give her the silent nod.
He slams into you, Grom. The ogre swings at Gromish and misses. You hit him, Velden, with your sword, raking him across his back as he runs past. Ogre 2 did swing at Gromish and he missed, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
He runs up to Velden. He swings at you, Velden, with his great club, letting out a roar. You killed my cousin. He misses as you duck out of the way. Now it's Smokey's turn.
Oh, shit.
He runs towards you, trumpeting, and he attempts to gore Velden from on top of his horse, sending him flying through the air. It's a hit. Velden goes flying up on this woolly mammoth's tusk. Somehow, Velden keeps his concentration as he rides this thing's tusk and then lands back on his horse.
Jeez.
So, Gromish, your turn.
Yeah, of course.
All right, I get my hatchets back out and I start chopping into this guy.
Ogre 2 in front of you. Zavril is lying there, working out where she is. You hit him with one of your juggalo hatchets. Cripes, you critically wound him, and then you come at him with your offhand. And you just swipe him with your left hand across his neck, and he spins round to the ground.
And then I'll move to there.
You move up towards where the ogres and Smokey is. He goes round. Ogre 3 runs up to you, Gromish, swinging with his great club. It's a miss. Jason Havernock. Jason, what you doing?
All right, I'm going to go straight this way.
Jason
Okay.
steps out from behind the wall.
Okay, who all can see me?
Ogre 3 can see you, Smokey can see you, Big Johan can see you, and there's an ogre near Smokey, Ogre 4.
All right. I am going to unleash the horror of Memento Mori. Now, if you want, I can have anyone else who can see me also roll the save, because it's not discriminatory. We just kind of trained.
Yeah, but we
guess.
all know what it's like as soon as you start twitching for that face mask, don't we? So we,
Yes,
Don't even
we know
fucking
when to
look
look
at
away.
you anymore.
So I'm going to roll this. Everyone who failed,
The only
Johan saved.
important person saved.
True, and Johan's immune to the spell for another 24 hours. That is my turn.
So they're all stunned for a turn.
Yep, until
And
my
then-
beginning of my next turn.
We turn to Big Johan. Infuriated by the death of his ogres, his crew, he moves forward. Oof, Velden, you're going to go down, I think. Johan's on top and he swings at Velden. It's a hit, Velden.
Yep.
You all hear this crack and crunch of his plate armor. Ah, one hit and he's critically wounded. Somehow he manages to hold onto his steed and keep his concentration. The horse bucks up and Velden manages to hold on, but you can all see he's critically wounded. Big Johan lets out another deep guttural laugh. 2 great axe attacks.
Yeah, send one my way.
We're going to do 1, 2, Velden, 3, 4, Gromish.
And
Let's
what
go.
about the horse?
1 horse, 2 Velden, 3 Gromish. Yeah, he swings again, laughing as he senses the kill.
That's funny because I saw a 3.
I did as well. I thought it landed on 3.
I rolled a
No,
2.
sadly not. It's a 2.
Yeah, no, it's just the way the animation was. It looked like it landed on a 3.
A sickening crunch,
Ow,
bribes Velden.
I'm down.
You are dying. You need to make death saves. Whew. Big Johan, a big smile. Zavril's just picking herself up off the ground. Grim's helping
He's
her
gonna
up
run
as
over.
Velden goes down.
Seems like the safest place to be down, really, in this battle.
Oh, shit.
We now move to Dragonets. Unless they're doing anything, I'll skip over them. Taupe.
The Sedge is gonna slowly move forward.
He was there to give Zavril a healing potion. Do you want to give? He can dispense a healing potion to Zavril.
No, I'm gonna. Yeah. So
Your mobile potion dispenser moves up the battlefield.
yeah.
We now move to Taupe and Velden on the same initiative, facing off against Big Johan and Smokey. Velden, however, is unconscious, hanging onto Taupe by the straps wrapped around his footing, and is hanging, dangling upside down from his horse.
I don't think I'm going to do anything apart from total shuffle backwards and forwards, sort of trying to help me stay on while I make my death saves. I think it's the only thing I can do. Maybe.
And that's a success.
It's the 2 failures.
Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome.
Right,
That's
Velden is still, however, if he gets hit by Big Johan and Smokey, there will be auto fails on the death saves and auto crits. Velden, we skip over you. You've done your death save. Zavril, you're picking yourself up and you're just watching Velden getting knocked down.
Yeah. So I'm just checking lay on hands again. Is that? It doesn't say whether it's it's an action, isn't it? Right. Okay.
Yes, it's an action, 5 points per level. So
Right.
if you can get to me.
Yeah. So I'm pretty low, miss. I'm wondering whether to just actually move forward and attack, because I can't get to Velden and heal him anyway.
You get hit,
in
Zavril,
one.
you're going down and you've not got a ranged weapon.
I have got a ranged weapon. I do have a ranged weapon, so I've got my infused crossbow.
Zavril looks around, assesses the situation.
Because I can't take another hit, because if hands-on healing is an action, then I'm only on about 6 points, so...
The Dragonet is slowly moving up the field towards Velden.
Yeah, I'm going to move forward a little bit, so just to...
You step over the Dragonet and you move past Jason, who is just putting his mask back on.
Going to do my infused crossbow on this one here.
Zavril takes a shot. It's a hit. Excellent.
And actually, what I want to do with this,
you hit the ogre. Roll your damage. Are you going to add a smite to it?
I think so, because I think I can use branding smite. Kind of the other one's a melee, but this branding smite is just next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack, it's like generic weapon, not melee.
Weapon attack before the spell ends. Weapon gleams with astral radiance as you strike. He's heavily wounded. There's a flash of astral energy.
I've got another attack, so I'm just going to go with the crossbow again. So
hit him again with another bolt.
I'm gonna just smite him again. I think try and fucking finish.
You can't.
Oh, I can't. No. Okay. Right,
no, because branding smite's your bonus action.
One day I will know the rules. Then they'll change.
Yeah.
Right. There we go.
The elephant is stunned, by the way. If anyone wants to hurt his mount and make the fat guy fall down,
we just need to kill the fat guy.
Well, if we knock him off the mount, that would be extra fun.
Yeah, but it's not going to do anything.
Grim, it's your turn. You're stepping out of the bushes. Zavril's run off in front of you, charging. We have a moderately wounded ogre 3. We've got Big Johan, the frost giant, towering over Velden and his warhorse.
I'm going to move up to Velden and give him a healing potion.
Okay, using a cunning action to move up to him?
Yep.
Drop it on him then. How many healing potions have you got? 3?
That's my last one.
Okay, amongst the fray and melee, Grim comes up and heals you for 5 points. Velden, do you want to do that yourself?
Yeah. You need to get these dragonets moving a bit faster.
I'm going to use my last... I guess I can. I got 15 more feet. Can I move there?
Certainly can.
That's it.
We now move to Ogre 4. He is between Velden, Taupe, and Rex.
He's
Velden,
stunned.
He's stunned.
Yep.
So right, it's your turn, Grommish.
I'm going to move up to here.
Ogre 3 will get an opportunity.
He's stunned.
He's stunned and he's also knocked prone. So
Grommish runs forwards then, takes advantage of the stunning.
And now Big Johan's supposed to be on the back of Smokey here, so I should be within melee range.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start chopping at his ankles.
You swing at him with your tribal juggalo hatchets. You hit him. The woolly mammoth is butting against you. The critically wounded Velden pulling himself back onto the horse. Zavril is running up, trying to cover your back.
I'm trying to decide who is the bigger tactical threat here. I guess
The
I'll attack
fucking giant.
I'll attack the... Hold on, I'm going to use Puff of Smoke on him as a bonus action. I puff a smoke of cigarette with some
Okay.
eldritch words.
His eyes go all watery and he's stinging. His eyes are stinging.
He is blinded until the beginning of my next turn. Now I eldritch blast him.
Barlast flies towards him.
Crap damage. There we go. That's a turn for me.
Big
Haha.
Johann is blinded, but he can still hear. He can still swing wildly in Gromish's, Velden's, or Grimm's direction. With Velden, unfortunately.
Bloody hell.
Big Johann is going to throw a rock at Velden because he is still on the back of Smokey.
Shouldn't we have
Damn.
a disadvantage? Oh, gosh.
And Velden goes back down.
Back down we go.
He goes for the horse.
He can't see, can he? He's just swinging
He's
in
blind,
that
of course.
direction.
He's swinging wildly, and it's a hit.
Fuck, he hits on a 9. Oh,
So it's only the horse.
Oof.
Who's
Don't let Grum hear that.
Ugh.
no, it's just
It's a fake horse, so it's all right.
Cuts the hedge in half. The hedge
Yeah,
horse
pretty
with hawthorns in it.
yeah, it's made of holly.
And you tumble down onto the ground, Velden, so you would be prone. Oh, he gets 2 attacks. Flip. Oh, now the second one definitely is for you, Velden, unfortunately.
Well, I think he might be farther away now that the horse is down.
Right, missed. Clang.
It's a miss as Velden rolls onto the ground. A great axe lodges itself inches away from you. And Velden, you are on the ground now. You're picking yourself up.
Pick myself up, and I'm going to just wait. There's no point not trying to do some damage. I'm just going to hit at that ogre in front of me, that ogre 4.
Ogre 4, almost obscured by Smokey,
I'm just going to wade into him.
bringing your greatsword.
Yeah. I'm going to spend another slot and have a divine smite with that.
Here's a flash of divine energy as your sword bites into him, only moderately wounding him.
And a second attack with a sword.
Ooh,
Can I?
It's
Oh,
a
no,
hit.
hit. No, rubbish. I'll just have a standard hit with that one then.
Bit of a crappy roll, but he's heavily wounded.
And that's all I can do. Oh, no, I will take a potion as a... I do have a potion of greater healing. 4d4 and add 4.
That's all right.
13 more hit points back.
And then you steel yourself for the next inevitable attack from Big Johann. Zavril, you're critically wounded. You drag yourself over. You can see the ogre between the
Yeah.
two wargs. You can see Gromish being flanked by the gladiator, who looks like he's going to try and attack Gromish next.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to risk it and keep sending the crossbow.
Yeah, probably
so,
very wise.
Yeah, I'm going to stay back and hope for the best.
You're targeting yourself.
Am I right? Okay. Right.
As she points the crossbow at her face as she loads it.
She's like, I'll fucking do it. You better stop.
Have I stopped targeting myself now? Yeah, I think so. Right.
It's a great shot. It hits Smokey. Smokey
Okay.
rears up.
Excellent. Now I'm going to, at level 2, again, do branding.
A
Nice.
divine astral aura surrounds this bolt as it hits him.
Right.
You brand him, leaving a big scar across him. Only lightly wounding Smokey, unfortunately.
Oh, but I'm trying to get. Maybe I'm not. Oh, I was wanting to get bloody Big Johann. He's the one chucking the rocks, isn't
All right,
he?
do you want to
fucking
retcon
hell.
that? And so do you want to drop that damage on Johann instead?
Yeah, sorry. I've been targeting. Yeah, I was targeting the wrong one. How do I
Let's
do
just
that?
say you hit Johann. So you'll get this feeling of deja vu. Anything else, Several?
I've got one more attack,
Okay.
so I'll just crossbow that fucker again.
That's a spirit. It's a hit.
Oh, is it? Yeah, right. Okay.
You heavily wound Big Johann.
Wow. Okay. Tipped him over the edge.
Maybe you got him in the neck or something.
Right, yeah, and that's it then.
If anyone can see, Grom has got a momentary brief of glee in his eyes as he might get a mammoth.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I knew it was.
He wants to
coming.
tame the mammoth.
Oh,
That's
here we
right.
go.
Are there any windows in this building I'm in?
There can be, yes. An old barn with a frame rather than a window.
Is all the 4 walls still standing, or like
Yep,
this back
yes.
wall? Or
They can be, yep.
well, I'm going to pop out right there. I'm going to use one of the Dark One's favorable tidings to get advantage on a shot.
If you're targeting Big Johann, you already have advantage because he's blinded.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. Take that back.
You pop out from a doorway or a window and you take a shot.
Is it
It's a hit. Somehow these are all hitting.
awesome?
As he is blinded. Cripes. That was a big one. Anything else, Rex?
Use
Moves
the rest of
back.
that was supposed to be a straight line. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. And then I'm gonna.
Then you duck down as your cunning action.
Yeah, he's got a +10 bonus. I don't think he could not hide from these guys.
We'll move to Ogre 4. Velden's right in front of him. Gromish is right in front of him. We have Jason and Zavril. 1 Velden, 2 Grom, 3 Jason, 4 Zavril. It's 2
I think that was
Gromish.
me.
The ogre
You almost got
spins round.
disappointed.
He wants to kill somebody. I know he does.
Yeah, me.
It's a miss. A roar of disappointment and anger. Smokey and the giant are going to move forwards. 1, Valden. 2, Grom. 3, Jason. 4, Zavril. He's just charging now. He's lost it. 1 is Valden. 4 is Zavril. Oh, cripes.
Whoop.
They just charge through everyone.
No point healing. I'm going to go down.
Well, I'm going to take my up attack at Big Johan.
Yeah, it'd be rude not to hit him on the way through.
It'd be real rude of me to grapple him off of his fucking mount, but he's too large for that.
Can I take my advantage on this as he strolls past me?
I believe we still have advantage because he's blinded still.
Oh yeah, I'll do that then. Hit him.
And you could smite.
I'm indeed going to smite as he strolls past me. Take that, Big Johan.
Ooh, nice.
I took him off as he went past me. Have that.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, Valden, the Green Knight, strides forward. With a swift and practiced motion, Valden unleashes his legendary sword, its blade shimmering with a verdant energy. Too late, the Frost Giant, sitting astride his woolly mammoth, turns to face him, his grey eyes narrowing with disdain. Valden charges forward. The Frost Giant swings his massive axe in a deadly arc, but Valden nimbly dodges, and with a powerful leap, Valden ascends the mammoth's flank, his sword poised for the strike. Valden's blade flashes through the air, catching the giant across the back. A deep glowing gash appears, and the Frost Giant roars in pain and fury. Valden doesn't hesitate. He drives his sword into the giant's heart. The Frost Giant's eyes widen in shock as he slumps forward, his grip on his axe loosening. With a final gurgling breath, he topples from the mammoth, crashing to the ground with a resonating thud. The earth trembles with the impact, and Valden stands atop the now still giant, his emerald blade glinting in the evening light. The ogres and the gladiator, seeing their fallen leader, hesitate, with fear flickering in their eyes.
Where am I?
Underneath the feet of the mammoth.
Yeah, you're in there somewhere.
As this happens, Smokey is still going to try and gore Zavril.
Well, why not?
Trampling charge, Zavril. Give me a DC 18 strength check, please, or be knocked prone as this thing charges into you.
So am I just rolling strength for that?
DC 18 strength, yes. If you fail, he's going to trample you.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a fail.
And as you hit the floor, his massive big feet try and stomp on you.
That'll do it.
A huge mammoth foot comes down on you. And Zavril, you are dying again.
He's dying now, isn't he?
Grom's going to shout out as he sees Big Johan go down. Save the mammoth.
Of course.
And then he's going to turn and look at the gladiator and be like, are you sure you want to fucking do this? As he strolls around him and starts chopping into Ogre 3.
You want to give me an intimidation check on the gladiator with advantage? Okay, 16. And you took a swing at the ogre, did you?
Yeah, I'm going to swing at the ogre.
Avril is under the mammoth's foot. It is taking revenge. You hit the ogre.
And he strolls over here to Ogre 4.
Moving around the gladiator. And you start chopping up Ogre 4 with your hatchet. Oh, crikey. You're in a rage now, Grummish.
And then he moves up onto the backside of the mammoth and be like, don't kill it! But this time he's talking to himself.
Jason Havernock, anything you'd like to do? There is a gladiator here. And there is Smokey, who is going to trample on Zavril again.
I am going to move 20 feet this way.
You move around Smokey carefully, staying within his reach.
Albert, that fucking coward ran. I wanted to blast his ass.
The gladiator?
No, Albert, that asshole that
You look for him in the bushes.
he's gone. Well, I'm gonna target the gladiator first with a puff of smoke to blind him. Best cantrip ever, but he succeeds.
Okay, he passes, unfortunately for you.
All right, Eldritch Blast is a regular action.
Electrical energy crackles across from your fingers, wounding him as his armor crackles with it. You hit him again with a second Eldritch Blast.
All right, that's turn for me.
Gladiator. He looks around, and he puts his hands up.
Good, we need more people.
What's happened to the sex pest that started this whole kick-off? Where's he? Because I'd like him tied up and delivered.
He ran off. Jason was just
Oh,
getting ready to kill him, but he's not here anymore.
He ran off into the undergrowth. The gladiator's there, got his hands up. I surrender, he says.
And just stay there till we knock this elephant out.
The elephants are bucking up on its hind legs. What are you going to do? You going to try and kill it or make animal handling check?
I could make an animal handling check, but for now,
Knock it
until
unconscious.
it's my turn, let's just try to knock it out.
So the gladiator puts his hands up and backs off as you subdue the woolly mammoth as best as you can.
Well, now he's prone.
Hopefully in the opposite direction of me.
The warg jumped up and then grabbed it by the neck, and somehow he's managed to get it down onto the ground.
Question is, can we tame it?
I don't see why not. That it's already tamed. To be fair, I would assume the giant had it tamed, but right now we just need to change ownership.
You manage to subdue Smokey while the gladiator stands there with his hands up. The people come out from the inn and they begin clapping and cheering. Big Johann has clearly been harassing them for a while. He can't thank you enough. The bar wench comes out and she says, you can stay here tonight for free. All the drinks are on the house and everyone's patting on your back, and you get the kind of reception you would have expected for adventurers.
I'm straight. Just for future, I did forget that I had this, so I thought I'd wait until the battle was over. I do have that periapt of wound closure. So whenever I wear the pendant, you stabilise whenever you were dying at the start of your next term. And I always have something else, some pearl of something as well, but I can't
All
remember.
right, let's loot these guys, and I'm gonna chop
Get
off
to
all the frost
looting.
giants' toes and fingers.
For a necklace?
You're rummaging and you find a map showing what appears to be the location of the steading of the hill giant, Chief,
All right,
as well as what appears to be an extremely finely made great axe.
let's look at the gladiator. So, how did you end up being, I assume, a slave to the giants?
He says, I've been hired. I was paid. I'm a mercenary.
Yeah. So you were working for the giants.
Yes, I was being employed. Now I think I'm released from my contract.
Well, how would you feel about fighting the giants instead of working for the giants?
I'm a mercenary. You would need to pay me.
What are you charging? Well, first, before we go that route, what do you know about the giants?
I can tell you that we set off from the steading of the hill giant, Chief, 2 days ago. I can tell you that they were preparing for a great feast, a celebration. There's some kind of deal being struck between the hill giants and the stone giants. There was also talk of a cloud giant attending the feast. I believe the feast is set to be held tomorrow night.
So, how the hell did you end up with a frost giant?
They're making alliances. They seem to be working together. Giants have always been tribal, but there's something seems to be unifying them. I'm not quite sure what it is. It's giant business. I just do what I'm told.
So, Heel, Cloud, and possibly Frost Giant Alliance, as well as Stone Giant.
Go and see for yourself. There's
Oh,
some
we
kind of
will.
negotiations going on, and they're celebrating it with a feast.
I suggest you leave the giants alone from now on. Otherwise, next time I'll have to kill you.
I'm heading for Waterdeep.
That sounds good to me. Anybody else got any questions for him?
I have no
No, I
questions.
think you covered it.
If not, you will spend the night in the coaching inn, take a long rest.
And more importantly, do we tame Smokey to be under our control?
Yeah, I wanted to spend time with him over the night.
He seems a little bit ambivalent. He looks as if he'd rather just be set free to roam the hills.
No.
You might need to work on him a bit more.
I'll give him some food, and yeah, I'll start leading him around. I assume he had some sort of harness and whatnot on him. Yeah, I won't try to ride him yet. I'll just lead him around, make sure he's fed, and bond with him.
We'll spend the night in this coaching inn.
I gotta go take a piss. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
okay.
grab a drink.
Yeah, can we take 10 minutes?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,